Hello, everyone, and welcome to the As Seen on TV podcast for American Horror Story, Season 3, Episode 6, The Axeman Cometh. I'm your host, Dom. With me, I have my co-host, Mike.
Hi. That's all you're getting.
That was even creepier than the Axeman himself.
Yeah. Yeah, it was.
What did you think of this episode?
I liked it. It was a slower episode than the couple. Well, excuse me, the couple that come before, but it was a nice change. I mean, kind of a nice cool off period to let you reflect on everything that happened and progress the story a little bit.
I see, yeah. So, what did you think about the Axeman himself?
He was very... I don't know. He was a jazz musician from New Orleans in 1919. He was a pretty ordinary guy. You wouldn't have thought of him to be an axe murderer.
He didn't seem too threatening to me.
No, he didn't.
So
that was probably the allure.
Yeah, he came off kind of awkward. But yeah, apparently he was vicious enough. Like, he slaughtered a bunch of people. He had a article out in the newspaper announcing all the things. But then the Coven of Witches intentionally trap him in. They set him up. They don't meet his demands, his request. He put an article in the paper that stated to play jazz music on this particular night. He was coming into town, and if they didn't play jazz music, he'd come in and kill you. And they intentionally didn't play jazz music. And
Yep.
they lured him in. He came in, and just as he swung, she blew the candle out, disappeared, and the whole Coven of Witches, this is back in 1912 or something like that, by the way, whole Coven of Witches just come in and just start stabbing him, like a circle around, like they're enjoying it.
Enough for me to say, okay, ladies, he's dead.
Yeah, it's kind of awkward.
Yeah, a bit.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. Then you see Zoe, she's kind of exploring the attic. She finds, like, yearbooks or whatever. She's finding information about the Coven, the Academy, everything, like, back in the day. And she comes across what they're calling as a spirit board, which, better known to us as a Ouija board. Mm-hmm. And they decide to start playing with it to try to find Madison. And, they get in contact with the Axeman instead of Madison. But after finding out that it was the Axeman, and even against Queenie's warnings, Zoe decides that she's going to release the Axeman to get answers.
Well, she was going to release him in exchange for information on where Madison was.
Right, which she got, and then she said her intention was to lie and not release him. But her contract with him was fulfilled, and that actually released him. Why do you think she was so quick to offer to release him in the first place? Was she that desperate to get Madison back?
She was desperate for information. And as she said, she lied, and it wasn't actually that released it. He was haunting Cordelia, who recently blind and gained some kind of special sight. He was haunting and screwing with her, and then Zoe found a spell and released him.
Right, so not only was she so quick to release him from the other side into the house, but then she was so quick to release him from the house back out into the world. Why? Why was she so quick to do all this? She just acted on complete instinct and didn't stop to think of the consequences whatsoever. It seems to be a running trend with her.
First thing, she was... desperate to find Madison because, she's reading these yearbooks and she realizes that the Coven has been getting smaller and smaller in the last century, going from classes of 30-something down to 4, which is now 3 because Madison disappeared. So that's motivating her to find out some answers as to where Madison went. And the other thing was the releasing her. Cordelia was screaming in pain and in danger, so that was kind of like, oh God, I gotta save my teacher. So I don't think but why not think of the consequences? She's a teenage girl.
Yeah.
They kind of act on, not all of them, but they kind of act on instinct and don't think shit through.
Right. So let me ask you: have you ever used a Ouija board yourself?
Can't say that I have. I'm thinking. No, I don't think I've ever used one.
No. I had a few friends who used a Ouija board, and weird thing. Like, I am very skeptical about this kind of stuff in the first place, but we're playing around with it, and my friend asked it if it could manifest itself and come into the room, and his door like slammed shut, which I think was just the wind or something like that. This is me being my skepticism and everything. And then we had slept over his house that night. I was in the living room. Oh no, I didn't stay over. That's what it was. It was my friend stayed. You know, he went to bed. Two of the other kids were there. One stayed on the couch and one stayed on the floor in his room. They had woken up the next morning missing their left sock. It was a very, very weird thing. So all three of them woke up with their left sock on. I came back over the next day and I heard this story and I laughed at them like, you guys are idiots, you know, like, left sock. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. So I stayed over there maybe 2 months later, like completely forgetting the story had even happened, anything. It was nothing we ever talked about again, so it was just completely out of my mind. Stayed over there. I went downstairs. I was staying. He had a whole like bar area set up, and there was a couch down there, and I was gonna go to sleep down there. He had a snake and the light, the heat light, and all that. And it was the middle of the summer. This thing didn't need to be on. I'm sweating down there. The light's in my eyes. I'm like, I'm shutting this light off. So I go over. I'm trying to find the switch. I can't find it. So I bury my face in the couch. I turn the other way around, and I start going to sleep. And something grabs me. And I thought it was him, so I didn't move. I didn't make a noise, anything like that. Finally, I slowly turn around, and there's nobody there. I'm waiting to see him standing there. I'm waiting to hear him laugh. Nothing. So I scour the whole downstairs piece by piece, just make sure I can't get by, and I would have heard him go back up the stairs. It would have creaked or something. Nothing. I go upstairs. He's sound asleep. So I go back downstairs. I put the blanket over my head, try to go to sleep again. The blanket gets ripped to the ground. I jump up. I look around. There's nobody there. So I grab the blanket off the ground. I cocoon myself in this thing, right? I'm cocooned, and I'm determined to go to sleep at this point. Right? So I pass out. Next morning, sure enough, I wake up, my left sock is missing. I can't explain it. It is the craziest thing. So I have never, ever touched a Ouija board since that day.
Sock goblins.
Yes, it's a sock goblin.
We have sock and underwear goblins in this house because socks and pairs of underwear disappear magically. And it's not like, oh, they're just under a pile of dirty clothes or, you know, they're in a laundry basket at the bottom or something. No, when we clean the house, they've legitimately disappeared. So either we have a sock goblin or my landlord is sneaking in and stealing our socks.
Could be. Or the washing machine could be eating them. I've seen that happen. Stuff
Actually, the
goes in
problem
lip.
was we've been doing laundry at my mom's house to just, you know, to save money because the on-site laundromat here is, you know, pay per wash and all that stuff. It's not expensive, but still. Go to my parents and do the wash, whatever. And we usually stay and do it, but occasionally, you know, we'll leave and I'll come back and my mom was nice enough to fold all the dried clothes for me. She was folding Omi's black socks, thinking they were her work socks. Because my mom, she works on a bus, a school bus, for, you know, disabled kids, and they have to wear a specific uniform. So Omi's like, buy me black socks, please, because I'm getting tired of getting them confused with yours. So I buy her black socks. My mom thinks they're hers, and she folds them and puts them in her pile. So all of a sudden, Omi has no socks at all.
So you just called your mother a sock goblin.
My mom is a sock goblin.
Got it. So moving right along.
Love you, Mom.
We see Cordelia, right? She's blind. She's coming into the house. She's determined to do everything on her own. But once again, her husband touches her, and she starts seeing visions again. She's seeing girls he slept with and things like that. But not only him. It's not a psychic link with him, but she's also has this when Fiona touches her and sees that Auntie Myrtle has bit the dust, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as she touches her husband, she's like, "Who's the redhead?"
Yeah, so what is causing Cordelia to see people's pasts?
I'm guessing it's a new power she got from going blind. Or it's a power she had always. It was just like, when they say when you like lose one of your major senses, like when you lose your sight, all your other senses become stronger to compensate for your missing sight. That's kind of what happened here. She lost her sight, so her witchy powers took over and compensated her by giving her insane psychic, premonitions and stuff.
Yeah.
And Fiona even tells her it's one of the most, it's one of the best and, most powerful gifts, but it's also the most difficult to live with.
Yeah. Yeah. It seems like it can get people into a lot of trouble. I'm surprised that she saw the more recent event. Maybe the way this plays out is, excuse me, it's recent events, and it works backwards or something, because she could have touched Fiona and saw the murder of Madison, but she didn't.
No, she's just seeing bits and pieces.
Right. So, do you think that's something she'll end up seeing?
Eventually, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we get to see where Madison was a little bit more this episode. We got a look into the butler's room, and Zoe's going around snooping. She's in there, and she's got her suspicions because the Axeman said go to the attic. So she goes there. She starts looking, and she's looking at the teacups, the dolls, and she makes her way to a chest. She opens the chest, then she finds Madison's dead body. That's when the butler comes up behind her, grabs her, they get into a scuffle. She ties him to a chair, and they interrogate him. So, what were you thinking at this point? Like, what did you think of his internal monologue, first and foremost?
Obviously, it was bullshit.
Yeah.
I mean, he's loyal to Fiona to the end.
So you think that's why he was lying to the girls, then?
Oh, yeah. But the thing is, like, he has this so practiced. He either believes it himself, or he's just really good at thinking what he wants to, because Nan wasn't able to pull out that this was a lie.
Right.
You would think
Zoe
that would
kinda
be
suspected
something.
it.
Yeah, but you think this would be something that Nan could figure out pretty easily, like
Right.
whether somebody's lying or not.
Right.
But she doesn't even get that hint. It's kind of yeah.
Yeah. So we cut to Misty Day,
Oh, yeah.
and she's watering Myrtle Snow's corpse like a plant in her garden, and Kyle shows up and kind of flips out, destroyed her radio, pictures, glass, everything that he possibly can.
Mm-hmm.
So I started thinking, he's pretty much a zombie at this point. He's pretty close, but
He's closer to the Frankenstein monster.
I guess, but like, how is he different from the zombies we've seen on this season so far?
Well, those were just mind-controlled, voodoo slaves of Voodoo Witch. And they were just meant to do one thing, and that's kill, kill, kill. Kyle is a re-stitched together and reanimated corpse. He's not under anybody's control. He's just a lost and confused soul who was in a very horrible and tragic death, and now is not himself. I think the only part of him that's really him is his head.
Right, and even that doesn't seem to be all there.
Right, so this is a very traumatic experience, and no amount of healing is going to help him, I think.
Yeah, I don't think he's ever going to be the same. I don't think he's going to get anywhere near close.
No.
That's something that Zoe's going to kind of have to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
So, now my question to you with that is, she was so quick to want Madison back. Madison died. I called it. I said Madison's coming back. I knew it. We couldn't end without Madison. So sure enough, here's Misty Day. She agrees to resurrect Madison.
Yep.
Why does Zoe want to resurrect Madison after all the trouble she sees that Kyle's been?
Well, here's a couple things. Madison's a witch, first off. She might not have the same. She might not come back with the same, detrimental effect as Kyle, even though she was dead longer than Kyle. I mean, Zoe feels that they need Madison to find out, because I mean, she was a pretty decently powerful witch, young, but still had some decent power to her. And I mean, I don't know. I think Zoe felt like she was a friend. She had a bonding moment, girl power. I don't know. But yeah, Kyle's been nothing but trouble. He killed his own mother. Mind you, she deserved it. But he's been nothing but trouble and a rampaging monster. So I guess I can agree with you. I can agree with the question. Why the hell would she want to do that?
I couldn't answer that. It just
Yeah,
didn't
exactly.
really make
I'm
sense to
trying
me.
to answer it, and now I get back to the beginning, and I'm like, I can't answer it. I'm just talking out my ass right now.
Well, the interesting thing was, as soon as Madison comes back, she speaks
Yeah.
immediately.
Hmm.
So how is it that she's able to be coherent, but Kyle isn't?
Okay, this goes back to the fact that she's a witch, but also Misty has the power of resurgence. She brought Madison back herself, and she knows how to do this. She's used to doing this. When Zoe and Madison brought back Kyle, they were just a couple of amateur witches casting a spell. Did they do it right? Who knows? Maybe they screwed some part up. You know, did they have enough power to, fully complete it? Is it the fact that Kyle is a stitched together jumble of different corpses? And
Abomination.
he's an abomination, and his, confusion stems from like essence of the other people body parts. I mean, there's a whole bunch of different things. Not to mention that Kyle was pretty much blown apart, whereas Madison just had her throat slit. So she was more or less still intact, even though she
This
was
is true.
decomposing.
Well, she lost her arm, but yeah,
I mean, they've reattached it, but that's all she really lost. She didn't outright lose her head
this is
or
true.
get blasted into 50 pieces or anything.
I'm
So,
thinking maybe Kyle had some brain damage of some sort from the crash. So,
yeah, it's very possible there was a head injury before he died, or a head injury that caused him to die.
right. So, I don't know. But going back to Cordelia's husband,
This guy.
he's sitting there talking to the voodoo witches, and it's kind of revealed that he's a witch hunter. Did you
Yeah.
expect that out of him?
No.
I totally blindsided me. So now I started thinking, do you think all the girls that he's been sleeping with are witches that he's assassinating?
Yeah. I mean, it was already revealed that that redhead that he blew away was a witch who was, her pyrokinesis was showing itself.
Right, and it showed that Cordelia was talking to her as well, and that's how he's getting this information is
That's
through
how
the
he's
house.
finding them.
Yeah,
When Cordelia wants to meet with them and talk to them about, teaching to control their powers, he's instead stepping in and killing them.
yep, that he is.
Posing as a whatever, like a fan on a Thomas Kincaid like collection fan page or something. They wind up meeting up far away and screwing in a hotel room, and then
So do you think
what?
this is why the witch numbers are dwindling?
Well, it definitely has something to do with it.
How long do you think he's been at this?
She said 6 years.
Yeah,
How long has he been at it as a witch hunter? I
yeah,
don't know. But Marie said he's been in that house for 6 years.
right,
His whole marriage to Cordelia is just a cover.
right.
It's a sham, and I feel bad for the poor woman.
I think eventually she's gonna find out.
Oh, I think she's already getting a glimpse of it, but she's going to find out the full truth, and that's not. I feel bad for her.
Yeah. So we are halfway through this season. This
Yes,
was
we
episode
are.
6, so we are now officially halfway through.
There's 13 episodes, so next episode will be the midpoint, the literal midpoint. So, hi, Chelsea.
It's muted. They can't hear her.
Oh, I heard her.
You can. You're not muted.
Oh, oops. Anyway,
The next episode is called The Dead, and Fiona finds a new purpose in a dangerous love affair, which
that's.
we kind of saw at the end of this episode was the Axeman himself. Where do you think that's going to be headed?
I have no idea. He might try to use Fiona to get some kind of revenge on the witches for killing him.
Yeah. Who knows? A night out with La Lue leads.
Valerie.
Yeah, whatever. I can't read French. Does this look like a French person to you?
Just say it. Read it as it's pride. Lallery.
La la
Lallery.
la 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 la.
I'm a Frenchman. That wasn't a Frenchman.
That's Dracula.
I'm aware.
Leads Queenie to question her place in the Coven.
We even see a preview of her talking to Voodoo Witch.
Right. So where is Queenie's place in the Coven? Where do you think?
I have no idea. It's possible that Queenie is not a Salem witch and is a Voodoo Witch because her power of transference is she's a living voodoo doll.
Yep. And as soon as she walks through the door, it says, "What took you so long?"
Yeah, it's like I was wondering what took you so long to come over here.
Yeah. So, what do you think she's gonna side with?
I don't know yet. We shall see.
She's kind of like I could see her going more toward the voodoo side because she's kind of apprehensive to join up. She makes some comment to Zoe, like I've done a good enough job keeping myself alive. Why would I have a bunch of white bitches watch my back?
Yeah, true. You're right.
So I kind of see her going in that direction.
Goes to the dark side. I'm not trying to be racist.
Now you are. Cordelia makes a fateful decision about her mother.
Yeah, also in the preview, we see she touches the now reanimated corpse of Madison and gets the entirety of what Madison doesn't seem to remember about her death.
Right.
And it shows, she gets a glimpse right up to the point where Fiona slashes her throat. And then, it's, cuts out to black with her going, Fiona! Like, angry.
Yeah.
So like, not even mom, just Fiona!
So there's definitely going to be a good episode. Being halfway through the season, I'm very happy with it thus far. And
oh, me too.
Just knowing, I know you didn't really follow too much of American Horror Story following, the earlier seasons, but just knowing where they are now compared to the other seasons, this is where stuff really starts, where the proverbial shit starts hitting the fan.
Yeah, I caught a couple episodes of, Murder House.
Mm-hmm.
I saw nothing of Asylum.
Yeah.
But, I've gotten the impression that they always deliver.
They do. Always. Every single time.
And they're delivering very well. I have been interested from the first episode, and I'm still interested. I want more.
Yep. I like the fact that it's short and sweet. Like, a lot of the other shows we do, they're 22, 23 episode shows.
26 even.
Yeah.
Supernatural's like 24 to 26.
Yeah. So this one being at, I think it's 13? Right?
It's short and sweet. It's one episode longer than an HBO series. I mean, HBO series are usually 12 episodes, 10 if you're Game of Thrones, but each episode's a higher production cost.
First season of American Horror Story were 12, and they upgraded last season to 13, and I think it's assumed or confirmed. I'm not sure. But
this is confirmed 13 this season.
Confirmed 13, okay. So, yeah. So, yeah. Any final thoughts?
Not that I can think of. I want to see a full-blown witch war.
That'll be fun.
Fireballs flying, crazy shit.
I think it's going to be very interesting when Myrtle comes back. I can't wait to see what she's going to do.
It's going to be some crazy shit.
Yep. So, I don't know. Maybe she'll align with the voodoo witches. Maybe. She's got no other options at this point, so who else can she turn to?
Maybe Cordelia.
If she goes to the voodoo witches and states she's not happy with Fiona, then they might decide to work with her.
It's very possible.
So, yeah. Mike, where can the people find you?
They can find me on Twitter at Thilladren, THILLADREN.
You can find me Twitter at Phenomenon, PHENOMEDOM. And you can find us all on YouTube and Facebook at /ASOTV podcast for some more podcasts for some of your favorite TV shows. So until next week, see you guys later.
Good night.